Morning, guys. Raptor Freak, Alexiot's here Saturday. And we have a very interesting subject today. I already thought going into this season that the Toronto Raptors were going to have a huge home court advantage this season after having to play in Tampa last year in front of a hostile crowd and not having those good vibes and feels from the home fans and that energy. Coming back and just having that homecoming reunion, that emotional comeback after like 2 years. And the weird thing is, most of the players have never played in front of us. I think like our vets, Fred, Pascal, OG, and Chris, they know what it's like to play in front of the Toronto crowd. But most of the rest of the team, I think almost all of them, have never ever played at Scotiabank Arena for Toronto in front of the crowd. So that's a big, huge home court advantage for sure. Being reunited, having that good positive energy infused into the team and them feeding off of it. And then you add somebody like Scotty Barnes, who's going to be very interactive with the crowd. You guys are going to, you don't even realize this yet. This guy is the kind of player that gets out there and fires things up. Like he's going to fire people up with plays. He's just going to fire people up. He's going to get interacting with the crowd. Trust me, he will. He's going to get people juiced up and excited. But there's another huge advantage that it's looked like is going to happen for the Raptors at their home court is this pandemic. I mean, last year really hurt us. I mean, we had the COVID all together in the middle of the season when we had some steam rolling finally, and we're winning some games. And then we got all our team knocked out. And unlike other teams, we had to continue to try and play and piece together the 8-man minimum roster, even though other games were postponed for other teams until their stars came back. We continued to plug through the season, plotting whoever we had in. And we had some pretty bad starting lineups in the middle of the season last year that we had to put out there. And only 8 players, the minimum amount. So, and well, just real quick with that. There's 20 guys on the roster for the Raptors right now. The NBA would be smart right now if they would allow all the rosters in the NBA to have a longer roster this year. It would get around a lot of problems that are possibly going to happen with contact tracing this season. Contact tracing won't be as big a deal this year because of the vaccine, and 90% of the NBA is vaccinated right now. Now, if you look at the stats, 90% means that there's at least 2 guys by average on each team that isn't vaccinated. And all right, well, let's just take the Raptors, for example. The Raptors have a lot of young guys that are just coming up, and they want to make a good impression in the NBA. So I'm going to guess most of the Raptors are all vaccinated, if not all of them. There may be like one guy on the team that isn't, that's weird, but I honestly, deep in my heart, I know that all of our guys are already vaccinated. At least all the top guys aren't dumb enough. First of all, they would be the more susceptible ones. It's the guys that have more power in the league that are able to say, "Oh, I don't want to get vaxxed." You know, guys like LeBron and Kyrie. You know, their ego and stuff. But you know, smart top guys are getting vaxxed for their team. You know, like I'm pretty sure Karl Anthony Towns got vaccinated. Come on, y'all. You know, so, but there's going to be problems with superstars that are divas that are anti-vax and weird like that. And it's already rearing its head. It's crazy. There's a report out yesterday that Andrew Wiggins, who's Canadian, is not even allowed in the new arena for Golden State. It's not new anymore. It's 1 year old, but he can't even come into their home arena because of the California laws about being vaccinated to enter the building, because he won't get vaxxed. And he's trying to get a religious exemption, but they've denied it. They said this isn't good enough. And what is going to happen with that? You know, if what's going to budge? Is he going to say, well, I'll go ahead and just get vaxxed? Or what is it? Are they going to try and figure out an allowance for players like him in the league? This is going to be a big headache and a big problem for a lot of teams that don't want this problem. So teams that don't have this problem, like hopefully the Raptors, are going to have a huge advantage. Because this is the thing, the people that are going to fall into this category, this 2%, these 2 players on each team that aren't getting vaxxed, they're either going to be idiots at the bottom who aren't trying to make the NBA and are going to get cut, or they're going to be top stars that are going to really mess up their team because they won't be available for a lot of games. Now, New York State and California are making passport vaccine mandates. So, and Toronto is too. You know, we have rules. People in the city of Toronto are losing their job that work for the city because they won't get vaxxed. There's, people that aren't being allowed to go do stuff. And this is a whole other separate issue. I don't want to wade into like, mandates and the issues with mandates and stuff like that. But I want to just purely look at this from what the rules are in the different places. California, Andrew Wiggins can't go into his home arena. In Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving can't go into the Barclays Center right now. They're not saying this outright, but you connect the dots. You can see it. Kyrie was a flat earther. So why wouldn't he be an anti-vaxxer? He's obviously getting really bad conspiracy theory information that informs his world perspective. So of course he's one of these people. That's huge because the state of New York, I don't know how they're going to bend the rules or try and figure out a way that he can even play in his own building. I mean, seriously, y'all, this is huge stuff. This is implications that have huge impact on the standings and who does well this year in the NBA, just because some players won't be available. And it won't be because of contact tracing like last year. It'll be just because of personal choices and what they want to stand by. Oh, man. And this is another thing. All right. The NBA coming to Canada to play in Toronto against the Raptors is a hassle in some ways. Even before 9/11, it was a hassle. Traveling is just a hassle. Going across the border through customs is just a hassle. Sure, they have like streamlined quick service for, executive VIPs that come through, like the Raptors or other NBA teams coming into Toronto. They get a special way in through customs and stuff like that. But it's still a pain in the ass. After 9/11, it got even more a pain in the ass because of terrorism and having to check everything and stuff like that. Well, think about the next level of pain in the ass that is going to be this year with a pandemic and having to have credentials and prove that you're either, you've been vaxxed or you have negative tests. Like, will Andrew Wiggins even be allowed to come back to his home country and play against his hometown team because of his stance on being anti-vax? It's very interesting drama, and it's not all going to get sorted out right now. It could be messy going into the season because the season's coming quick, and they're going to have to figure this out fast. And these are going to be big stars that may not be making the trip to Toronto. 10% of the NBA right now is not vaccinated. Who are those players? I know Kyrie's one of them. I'm pretty sure LeBron's one of them. Andrew Wiggins is one of them. I don't think any of the Raptors are. If there is one on the team, I mean, we traded Terrence Davis. He was the only one I would be worried about in this situation because he's a knucklehead. But the rest of the Raptors that are still here, they're international guys like Yuta, who was at the Olympics. He's obviously vaxxed. Pascal was at the Islands last week. He's obviously vaxxed. These guys are vaxxed for the Raptors. I think we may have 100% vaccination on our team because we're intelligent. We have character guys that are smart and they understand science. And they don't go against science just because they think they're freedom warriors or something like that. Or, I don't know what the reasoning is for Kyrie. He thinks the world's flat and he just doesn't want to vax. That's fine. Whatever. That's your choice. But pay the repercussions. And maybe you think that this is fascist or crazy or something like that. But this is what we're doing to keep the world safe right now and to keep people safe. And there's still issues. There's still issues with overburdened hospital systems. There's still issues with immunocompromised people who want to be safe because, I want to go to a game and not worry about the people that are sitting next to me at Scotiabank Arena. When I went to Blue Jays game this summer, I was worried about that. They weren't checking anything in the door. They didn't check for any negative tests or any, vaccine receipts or anything like that. They just let everybody in. And a lot of people weren't even wearing the mask. And everybody was sitting next to each other up close. There were no spacing or anything. Now, what I'm hearing is Scotiabank Arena is going to get 10,000 capacity to start. That's a little over half the building. It's about 18,000 capacity in that building. So it's going to be pretty full, but it's not going to be full. And it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be really weird to see who is allowed to show up here with the whole other level of the Canadian government deciding who's allowed to come over the border. If some of these guys aren't even allowed in their home arena right now. Think about that, y'all. This is a huge home court advantage for us. And some people say, well, we want to play the best of their team so that when we have to play them in the big time, then it matters. Well, that's true in a way. But you know what? The way the NBA is now with load management and rest games all the time, you're not playing the best of the teams already. in a lot of cases. That happened a lot last year where the guys would just get sat and we'd play like a secondary team for, not their best team. So it already happens in this league. And that, you're going to play different levels of the team with all the guys or less than the guys. That's just how it is. It's a war of attrition. The NBA is a war of attrition. And that's why I think they should expand the roster to 20. Allow these guys. We don't have to cut anybody because we may need them all of a sudden. Boom. Let everybody in the league have 20 people going into the season. That way we won't miss a bump with any kind of postponements because of contact tracing. Because that's still going to happen too. Even with the players that are vaccinated, they're going to get tested for corona. If somebody gets a positive, they're going to have to sit. So even if all the Raptors are vaccinated, they may still have to sit at times just because of stupid getting corona, even if it doesn't kill them or hurt them. They don't want it to be spread around. They want to contain it as much as they can. So it's going to be a wild ride this year, y'all. And it's going to be drama. There's going to be drama. Kyrie, I heard that he may get traded straight up for Ben Simmons. That may help both teams, but who's not allowed in their arena right now? That's what I want to know. I want to know this list. We know Andrew Wiggins is one of them, and we're pretty positive Kyrie's another one. And I think LeBron is one of these guys who's refusing to take the vaccine too. Because Dennis Schroeder said in an interview at the end of the season last year that LeBron hadn't taken the vax and stuff. I mean, it's so stupid, guys. It's just the epitome of privilege. We live in countries that have an overabundance of this vaccine, and there's people around the world that are dying that don't have any access to this. Y'all, we're privileged, and we're alive because of it. And this is just killing off people that are stupid right now at this point. People that are just dumb and knuckleheads. I don't care about if I lose followers for just speaking like this. This is just the damn truth. This is Darwinism in real time. We're seeing it. Anyway, have a great weekend. It's going to be really, really weird. Who's allowed to come to Toronto and who isn't? Who's going to be allowed to go in their own arena and who isn't? And how are they going to relax the rules? Or are guys just going to give in and go get a vax? I don't know. It's going to be some drama, though. There's going to be drama. Regardless, no matter what, there's going to be drama because of this stuff. The NBA will have its own vaccine mandate issues like the whole of society is having right now within it. So very interesting and exciting to somebody like me who's a sociologist and studied that in grad school. Very interesting to see how society reacts to huge events and current stuff that's going on right now. All right, go Raptors. We're going to win, baby. This is the thing. Things like this will get us to the championship. Like, seriously, dumb stuff like this. If Brooklyn is all messed up because Kyrie can't play this year, what are they going to do? We can win the East. Come on, guys. See the truth. Understand what's going on here. Maybe it's God's will that they want the Raptors to get a second championship this year. We'll have to see. I don't know. Here's the hope, and none of the guys get COVID and have to sit like last year because that really messes up. And who knows who gets to come here? I hope everybody gets vaxxed. I want all these guys to get vaxxed so they can all come play here and we can play the best of the teams. Don't get me twisted. I'm not trying to play an easy way through. It's just that if this is the rules and this is the way things happen, this is the way things happen. Okay? Because that's what this state of New York is saying, state of California is saying, province of Ontario is saying, these are the rules. So that's just how it is. Go Raps. All right, I'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.